How's it going and welcome to The Guitar Effect. My name's Rob. In this video I'm going to be getting smashing pumpkin sounds out of the HX effects. Before we do, as always, I'll ask you to please like and subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you can be kept up to date every time I post a new video. So, I have been a fan of the Pumkins for many years, since Siamese Dream came out basically. And I've already made some HX effects videos on Pearl Jam, Pink Floyd and U2. And I thought I'd give this a stab. So basically what I've done is I've made two presets, one for Billy Corgan, one for James Aya. And I go through those two presets in the audio example, which is to follow in a minute. I've done a bit of research, watching some YouTube videos about what they use and have used and what the kind of parts sound like. And what I've done is I put together some presets that I would use if I was going to go out and gig these songs. So I'm not trying to sound exactly like the record. I'm trying to approximate the general vibe of the sound of the Pumkins from Siamese Dream and from Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness for a few different songs. If you like these presets and you have a HX Effects, I will make them available on Line 6's website, which I will post in the description below. If you want to see any of the other HX Effects videos, you can see the playlist for HX Effects up here. And yeah, that's that really. So here are my Smashing Pumpkins HX Effects presets. Okay, so first of all, before I get into demoing these sounds, I haven't learned these songs off verbatim. It's just not something that I do. It's not something I've ever done. I'm not the kind of guitar player that sits down at records and works out exactly how to play songs, be that right, wrong, or indifferent. It's just not something I do. So I'm playing approximations of the songs, approximations of the rhythm parts, approximations of the solo parts that should be enough to allow people to understand what the sounds I'm going for are. So just to make that perfectly clear from the get-go. I'm going to do one section for Billy's preset basically, and one section for James's preset. So with that in mind, Billy's first. I'm playing a Strat. Billy played Strat for a large majority of the early part of the Pumpkins career and focusing on Melancholy and Siamese Dream. And my Strat has two single coils and a Seymour Duncan Little 59 in the bridge. I'm pretty certain the Billy Corgan Strat uses like rail humbuckers. And so it should be relatively close. And then I'm playing through the Koch Studio Tone 20 amplifier, which is a Marchall flavoured amplifier. I'm playing on the dirty channel with sort of medium gain as a starting point because, again, the Smashing Pumpkins played through JCM 800s and JMP 1s for the majority of that earlier part of their career. And then they used pedals in certain circumstances in the studio and live to augment that sound. So starting with Billy's tone, the starting point is, as I said, guitar straight into the amplifier, bypassing the HX effects completely. So here is the clean tone on the bridge humbucker. It's fairly dirty, as you can tell. Okay, if I go to the out of phase position, the volume back, it's very clean and it's very toppy, as you can hear, right? I think you need that for the Smashing Pumpkin stuff. So starting with just things that you might do using just the clean tone. If I turn on the plate reverb, turn the volume up full first on the guitar for tonight. So I think it's something like... For that part, I'd probably roll the volume back slightly. Full volume again. And that's just basically the guitar, a bit of reverb going straight into the amp. I have nothing else happening there. So So that's just a clean sound. Then the other things I have on the pedal board, as you can see here, I have the plate reverb, I have the transistor tape echo, I have the script mod phase, top secret OD, bighorn fuzz, and compulsive drive. And the reason for them is I'll go through one by one, right? So for the kind of pushed dirty tones, so if I go, say for, and then I put on the top secret OD, you get a lovely sort of driven Marchall sound. And then when he goes into the chorus, so we can turn on the compulsive drive. So to me, that is more the melancholy kind of sound. I don't really hear the muff tone so much, and that's kind of sludgy sound that Siamese Dream has appearing as much on melancholy. So another melancholy song, obviously, is plate reverb on again. Then if I add, into the pre-chorus. To me, that does that song pretty well too. Then for the melancholy sounds, the only time I'd really think I would use a bighorn fuzz, which is the muff I'm using, would be for a zero, which I think has a particular sort of attack to it. So it sounds like this. Roll a bit more tone on. And that's kind of, I think, the melancholy kind of tone. So Billy's sound for the more Siamese Dream stuff, it's basically the same tone as I was just playing, right, which is the muff tone. So it's the same amp sound. Going to tune up a little bit. So again, yeah, same starting point. So cherub rock. With that, to do a lead in the style of Billy Corgan, I turn on the top secret OD and the script mod phase, and you get kind of... Or even even on the neck. So you get that sort of crazy, uncontrollable, big, messy, sort of glorious mess lead tone, but just by using the Top Secret lead, the Bighorn fuzz, and the script mod phase. And I think you could gig a Smashing Pumpkins song with Billy style using that particular preset. Okay, so for James Iha's preset, I am using my Orville Les Paul Standard, as James Iha played predominantly a black and silver burst Les Paul custom in the early days. He also played Flying V's, he played Telecaster Deluxes, but mainly he played with the Pumpkins anyway, humbucker guitars. So I'm using my Les Pauls, closest thing I have to what he would have been using. I'm actually very, very similar settings, a bit of bass rolled off, because obviously the guitar is bassier, and a bit of gain rolled off, and this is the clean sound that I'm getting. Okay, so then the pedal board consists of, on the bottom row we have a Timmy basically, a Bighorn fuzz, which is again the correct type of muff, and then a Kinky Boost, which is just like a boost pedal. I have a transistor tape delay, a pitch whammy, which is doubling as a pitch shifter and a whammy, and then a weeper wah. Okay, so I'll just go through them individually. So here's a Timmy. I'm using that for the main distortion sound on the melancholy stuff, and then for the Siamese Dream stuff and for zero, and then the Kinky Boost. Let's give that slightly more driven marshy tone, and also for leads. Then the transistor tape is just a tape all into the front end of the amp. Now the pitch whammy is interesting, right? So in the toe position, it's a 7th up. Okay, and then when I push the pedal up, it does a 2-octave up, and it fades out. It goes from, as you can see, that's just the pitch shifted signal, and this is a harmony. So it not only does it bend the pitch up, it also blends out the dry signal. Okay, so you'll see why when I'm showing you how I'm using these. And then the weeper, just a regular crybaby style wah pedal. Okay, so starting with Siamese Dream stuff, so say quiet. I'm on the back pickup, by the way. So that's just the muff. And then for the little lead part that he does in that, so if I put the pitch wham on, which is now just a pitch shifter of a 7th interval, maybe the transistor delay and the Kinky Boost. So that's quiet. Okay, so then today, switch to the middle pickup and wind both volumes down ever so slightly. This is basically Jimmy's or James's clean kind of sound, and then for his sort of slightly make sure the delay is on. For his slightly past clean part in the song, which goes out. And then for the lead part that he does in the intro. Be more, and that's basically the Siamese dream sounds. I suppose you could do a bit of bighorn fuzz and the kinky boost. An interesting thing about both of these with the models and the HX effects is I've had to actually keep the gain on the bighorn fuzz back quite a bit, like to a quarter, to not get the amp to collapse upon itself. Okay, so moving on to the melancholy stuff now, right? I'm starting with 0, just the bighorn fuzz, nothing else. See, it works perfectly well for the rhythm parts. Right, there's a little lead part of a series of bends that James Iha does after the first emptiness is loneliness bit, right? And it goes like this, without the pitch whammy, it goes. So I think there's a 7th again going on underneath it. So I'm turning on the transistor tape and the pitch whammy effect to get that effect, and then I'm going to pitch bend the very. Something like that. I think the HS effects achieves that really, really well. So then on to butterfly wings. So the verse part is the same as Biddy's. There's really nothing on at all. And this is where we put on the Tima. Okay, and then when we come into the second verse, transistor tape delay and the weeper first of all, for the first part where he goes for the first half of the verse, and then for the second half of the verse, he does this picked part, turn off the weeper. Sorry, my bad, he does this part. And again, just the transistor tape delay by itself with no effects. And yeah, that's kind of all of the James Iha parts that I've worked out. I think this pedal board covers all that off. So there you go. Obviously, I could have learned the songs off better, but as I said, it's just not something I do. I don't have the patience to go learning songs verbatim. I kind of learn as much of them as I think I need to learn and then blag the rest. It's always been the way I've been playing guitar. I'm more of a songwriter really than I am like a guitar player, but I enjoyed trying to emulate the sounds and getting a kind of a preset for each player that I think would work in a live scenario. So thanks for watching. As I mentioned before, these presets will be available on Line 6's custom tone part of their website. And if you want them, they'll be there to download. I'll post a link in the description down below. So yeah, that's it. As always, please like and subscribe. And thank you for watching if you've gotten this far. And I will see you in another video again soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.